If you thought the world couldn't get any more progressive with transgender rights, just wait until you see what they're going for next.
Can trans women get pregnant? The answer is maybe, in the future, if all goes well.
Please God, no, tell me they're not serious.
It is hoped that, in the future, womb transplants can be performed on trans women, giving them the chance to get pregnant and have a baby.
To be clear, transgender women are biological men, and they want to re-engineer the human body to try and make the impossible possible.
There is currently no technical feasibility to perform the operation on trans women due to a difference in the pelvic and vascular anatomy, the shape of the pelvis, and issues with the microbiome, the network of microorganisms that live in the human body.
The reason why it's currently not technically feasible is because men and women are different. Even little children understand that.
What is this right here?
The pelvis. It's the only bone in the body that's gender specific, which means it's different in boys and girls.
Is it?
Yes. The pelvis's job to protect the organs used for digesting and reproduction, which means throwing babies.
Smart kid, right? Well, it doesn't take a genius to know that you can't fit a larger object through something that is smaller, like the head of a baby through a male pelvis. This insane idea has already led to one biological man claiming that he wants to be the first transgender woman to get an abortion. You want to see just how evil this is going to get? Watch this.
And I've saved the worst for last. Here is a trans activist desperate to get a uterus transplant, not because they want to give birth, but because they want to get an abortion.
Trans woman to have a successful uterus transplant, ovaries and eggs included, and I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
With things getting this bad, the Pope has even chimed in on this, calling gender ideology a huge threat to humanity. Pope says gender theory is ugly ideology that threatens humanity. Pope Francis on Friday warned of the dangers of gender theory, saying he had commissioned studies into what he condemned as an ugly ideology that threatens humanity. Addressing participants of a 2-day conference in the Vatican on the evolving role of men and women according to Christian teachings, Francis said what he called gender ideology was a threat because it sought to erase the differences between the sexes. I have asked that studies be carried out into this ugly ideology of our times, which cancels out the differences and makes everything the same, the Pope said. A decent step in the right direction, but seriously, what is there to study? A biological man cannot become a woman, and a biological woman cannot become a man. Period. End of story. I mean, what's next? Are they going to say that a man can produce just as good as breast milk as a woman can? Well, according to the International Breastfeeding Institute, trans women's milk is as good as breast milk, says NHS Trust. This used to be the writings of comedic gold in films that would now, if made today, probably be considered offensive.
Oh yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
That was funny, but unfortunately, the reality of all of this isn't, and it's going to get a lot darker from here. You know, I've been warning for years about the slippery slope of the pedophile acceptance movement, right? Well, watch as this senator from the US suggests that pedophiles should be given child sex dolls, while she refers to them as MAPs, or minor attracted persons.
I was completely unfamiliar with child sex dolls, so I had, of course, to Google it last night. I was a little scared to put it in my search engine, but I did. And apparently, there is research on the subject. Not much, but there are what they call MAPs, minor attracted persons. And the limited amount of research that's done on these dolls, guys, suggests that they actually, for people who are attracted to minors, that these dolls actually decrease their proclivity to go out and attack children. That it actually gives them a release that makes them less likely to go outside of their home. And what was interesting is the research did not support the same conclusions for people who were adult attracted using dolls. That did not diminish their proclivity to engage other people, but for those with the... So I'm just a little concerned that, and like I say, the research is not very good, it is not comprehensive, but the research that is out there is conclusive.
The same woman who is pushing for this just so happens to also have a transgender son, pictured here shortly before she committed suicide in 2022. So there is a very evil and wicked agenda that is being incrementally introduced to society, and we must continue to call this evil out for what it is. When I started raising awareness about this issue over a decade ago, I lost a ton of subscribers, and I was called a bigot in the beginning. But now, more and more people are starting to see this for what it is. It's an attack on God's creation. And those of us who have eyes for seeing and ears for hearing are not afraid to call it out for what it is. If that's you, let me know in the comments section below. And if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, please take one moment to check me out at pressfortruth.ca/donate. You can click that top link in the description below. Thank you so much to everyone who takes the time to contribute today. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that thumbs up button. Share this video with your friends and your family who you think need to see it the most. And stay tuned, guys. We're gonna have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.